This show is part of One Place, a daily network of focused briefings across the stories people follow most.
Welcome to our daily crime and justice roundup. We have a heavy slate of stories today, ranging from celebrity legal troubles to some truly harrowing cases currently moving through the court system.
An Oklahoma couple allegedly forced a teen into surrogacy.
Body cam footage of Justin Timberlake's DWI arrest is released.
Convicted killer Shanda Vander Ark fights for new trial.
Disturbing videos show a poisoning victim's final moments.
A Minnesota man allegedly murdered his partner and son.
A Nebraska man receives life for killing his partner.
An Arizona man allegedly killed his wife while smoking.
Denise Huskins exposes a major privacy loophole in California.
A masked gunman kills a college freshman in Chicago.
A former Texas teacher is sentenced for horrific crimes.
Starting in Oklahoma, authorities in Oklahoma and Nevada have arrested Nathan Potier and Erica Palmer, both 36, in connection with a truly disturbing case of child abuse. They are accused of forcing a 14-year-old girl to act as a surrogate for them because Palmer was unable to conceive after having her tubes tied. The investigation began in late 2025 when a caseworker discovered the young girl was pregnant with twins. Potier is facing charges of sexual assault of a child, while Palmer is charged with enabling that abuse. The couple allegedly fled Oklahoma to avoid a DNA test.
The details from the Washoe County Sheriff's Office are chilling, showing that the pair was hiding out in the Reno-Sparks area before the U.S. Marshals caught up with them. Court documents suggest that the couple specifically targeted this teenager to fulfill their desire for children. It is also noted that Potier had previous allegations of sexual abuse in California, which adds a layer of systemic failure to this tragedy. They are currently awaiting extradition back to Oklahoma County. This case highlights the critical role of multi-agency cooperation in tracking down fugitives who commit such predatory acts against minors.
Moving to Long Island, body cam footage from Justin Timberlake's June 2024 DWI arrest in Sag Harbor has finally been released to the public. In the video, Timberlake is seen struggling with field sobriety tests and repeatedly telling the officer that he is on a world tour. The officer, who seemingly didn't recognize the pop star, asks him what he does for a living, leading to a somewhat awkward exchange. Timberlake refused to take a breathalyzer test and expressed frustration, claiming the tests were very difficult. His legal team had fought to keep this footage private, arguing it showed him in a vulnerable state.
The footage also captures a woman with Timberlake pleading with the officers to let him go, offering to do anything to stop the arrest. Timberlake can be heard telling the police that he was simply following his friends home and wasn't doing anything wrong, despite the officer noting that he had veered off the road and missed stop signs. The release of this video follows a long legal battle over privacy and public interest. While Timberlake eventually pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, the video provides a raw look at the incident that dominated headlines for weeks during his global concert tour.
Next in Michigan, Shanda Vander Ark, who was convicted of the horrific murder of her 15-year-old son Timothy Ferguson, was back in court on Friday. She is seeking a new trial, claiming her previous counsel was ineffective. During her testimony, she continued to blame her late son for his own death, suggesting he chose to isolate himself and was dishonest. This is despite the evidence from her trial showing the boy was starved, forced into ice baths, and kept in a closet. Timothy weighed only 69 pounds at the time of his death, a staggering drop from his weight just 2 months prior.
Prosecutors were aggressive in their cross-examination, questioning her about her own claims of mental health struggles and physical illness on the stand. They specifically accused her of faking a vomiting episode during her original trial to gain sympathy. Vander Ark complained about her current conditions in a maximum security facility, but the prosecution pointed out the irony, asking how her son felt being locked away and isolated. The judge is currently weighing her request for a new trial, but her refusal to take responsibility for the extreme neglect and abuse documented in the case remains a central point of the proceedings.
Now to Massachusetts. In a Salem courtroom, prosecutors played 13 disturbing cell phone videos during the murder trial of Judy Church. The 67-year-old is accused of killing her partner, Leroy Fowler, by poisoning him with antifreeze. The videos, taken on Fowler's birthday, show him in extreme distress, crawling on the floor and moaning while Church mocks him. She can be heard asking him if he is having fun and counting the number of times he hits his head on furniture. Despite his visible suffering and his pleas for an ambulance, Church did not call for help for over an hour. according to the prosecution's timeline.
The motive behind the alleged poisoning was reportedly Church's anger over Fowler's relationships with other women. In the videos, she is heard making sarcastic comments about the pills he supposedly took, while he is clearly unable to stand or speak coherently. Fowler died several days later after being removed from life support. Church has pleaded not guilty, but the video evidence is a powerful component of the state's case. The trial is expected to last another 2 weeks, as more witnesses are called to testify about the couple's volatile relationship and the medical evidence regarding the antifreeze poisoning.
Shifting to Minnesota. Irving Van Marsaw is facing 2 counts of second-degree murder after allegedly killing his estranged partner, Jennifer Sue Marsaw, and her 5-year-old son Marzai. The shooting occurred just hours after Jennifer told Irving she was going to take him to trial, likely regarding his history of domestic abuse. Jennifer had previously sought multiple restraining orders against him, citing threats to kill her and her children. Although she had withdrawn those orders in the past, the situation escalated on March 17th, when she kicked him out of the house. Her daughter witnessed Irving leaving the scene with a handgun shortly after hearing gunshots.
The tragedy has devastated the Lexington community, especially given the documented pattern of abuse that preceded the killings. Irving is currently being held on a $5 million bail. The criminal complaint details a terrifying sequence of events, where Jennifer's other children were present and had to flee to a neighbor's house to call for help. This case underscores the extreme danger victims face when they attempt to leave an abusive relationship or pursue legal action against their abuser. Prosecutors are moving forward with the murder charges as the family mourns the loss of a mother and her very young son.
Over to Nebraska. Christopher Mielke has been sentenced to 2 life terms plus several decades for the murder of Tammy Leslie, the mother of his children. The sentencing hearing was marked by Mielke's frequent outbursts and lack of remorse. He interrupted the judge multiple times, claiming the trial was unfair and that the shooting wasn't murder. The judge was not moved, quoting Mielke's own words back to him. "I finally killed somebody." Mielke had shot Leslie multiple times in front of their children and then held the kids hostage, taking their phones and sealing the exits of their home to prevent them from escaping.
The details of the night are harrowing, with the couple's 11-year-old son hearing the gunshots and being forced into the living room by his father. Their 19-year-old daughter eventually managed to get her phone back and call for help after Mielke fell asleep. During the sentencing, the judge noted that this was not a mystery, but a clear-cut case of domestic homicide. Mielke's behavior in court only seemed to solidify the judge's decision to ensure he never leaves prison. The community and the surviving children are now left to pick up the pieces after this violent and senseless act of domestic terror.
Now in Arizona. Robert Marin is facing second-degree murder charges after allegedly shooting his estranged wife, Heather Marin, in their garage. Their teenage daughter told police she heard her mother pleading for her life before 4 shots rang out. When the daughter opened the garage door, she found her father standing over the body. Most shockingly, after the shooting, Marin allegedly walked away to get a cigar and returned to smoke it while standing near his dying wife. Prosecutors argue this display of indifference proves the killing was premeditated, as he made no effort to render aid or call for emergency services.
The argument that led to the shooting reportedly began over a dispute between Robert and his daughter. Heather had come to the house to intervene and protect her child. The daughter's testimony about her mother's final moments is heart-wrenching, describing a scene of pure domestic violence. When the police arrived, they found Marin covered in blood, and he reportedly dropped to his knees. This case has sparked significant conversation in Phoenix about the escalation of domestic disputes during divorce proceedings. Marin remains in custody as the legal process moves forward, with the cigar incident serving as a chilling focal point for the prosecution.
Next, in California. Denise Huskins, whose kidnapping was famously compared to the movie Gone Girl, has uncovered a major loophole in California law regarding victim privacy. She discovered that her kidnapper, Matthew Muller, and his ex-wife were still in possession of explicit videos of her sexual assault a decade after his conviction. Because Muller represented himself for a time, he was given the evidence as part of the discovery process. His ex-wife, acting as his legal assistant, kept the recordings in her home for years. Huskins is now advocating for a new bill that would strictly control how such sensitive evidence is handled and returned.
This discovery is a secondary trauma for Huskins, who was already victimized by both her attacker and the police who initially accused her of faking the crime. The fact that her rapist's family had access to recordings of her assault for 10 years highlights a massive failure in the judicial system's protection of victims. Huskins and her husband are set to testify at the state capitol to ensure that no other survivor has to worry about their most vulnerable moments being kept by their abusers. The proposed legislation aims to close this gap by requiring the immediate return or destruction of explicit evidence after a trial.
Moving to Chicago. The Loyola University Chicago community is mourning the loss of 18-year-old freshman Sheridan Gorman. She was shot and killed while walking with friends near a lakefront beach in the Rogers Park neighborhood. A masked suspect approached the group and opened fire, striking Gorman in the head. She was the only person hit, and police believe she may not have been the intended target. The shooter fled on foot and remains at large. University officials have expressed their profound sadness and are providing resources to students while emphasizing that there is no ongoing threat to the campus itself at this time.
Gorman was originally from New York and had only just begun her college journey. Witnesses described hearing a single shot followed by screams, a sudden burst of violence in a popular student area. The Chicago Police Department is actively investigating and searching for the suspect, who was seen wearing dark clothing and a ski mask. This tragic event has reignited concerns about safety in the neighborhoods surrounding the university. Friends and family remember Sheridan as a vibrant and kind young woman. As the investigation continues, the community is holding vigils and calling for justice for a life cut far too short by senseless gun violence.
Finally, in Texas, Hillary Danielle Williams, a former teacher at the Wells Independent School District, has been sentenced to 42 years in prison. She pleaded guilty to several horrific charges, including possession with intent to promote child pornography, indecency with a child, and bestiality. The investigation began in 2025, when authorities discovered sexually explicit photos and videos on a phone involving Williams, a female child, and a dog. The school district has condemned her actions, stating they do not reflect the values of the community. Williams had only been employed by the district for about a year before her arrest and subsequent conviction.
The details of the case are exceptionally graphic and have shocked the small town where she taught. While the district took immediate action once they were informed of the charges, the nature of the crimes has left a lasting impact on the community's trust. Williams will serve her lengthy sentence in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. The case serves as a grim reminder of the importance of thorough background checks and the vigilance required to protect children from predators in positions of authority. Prosecutors emphasize that the severity of the sentence reflects the disturbing and multifaceted nature of the abuse she committed.
That concludes our roundup for today. Thank you for joining us for these important updates.
Please follow the show to stay informed on the next daily briefing. We will see you back here tomorrow.